Good morning and welcome back to Stitch by LB. This is Laurie and today I am going to be showing you how to complete the moss stitch. The moss stitch is actually a stitch that's using a couple of things that we've already learned. We're just going to be putting them together in a pattern. For today's lesson, I'm going to be using this Craft Smart Value Jacquard yarn. This is from Michaels. This is one of their store brands. And this particular yarn is what we consider a medium weight yarn. The 4 means medium. Recommended hook size is a 5.5 millimeter. I just happened to grab my 5, so I'm going to be using that to show you the moss stitch today. Remember, if you go up or down a size, it really doesn't make that much of a difference unless you're making clothing or something that needs to be that gauge exactly. For this purpose, a 5 will be just fine. Now you'll notice this particular yarn isn't like the yarns I've been using in all my other lessons, which have been solid colors. This one has lots of colors all blended through it. This is what we call a variegated yarn. The colors change throughout the yarn. You'll need to make a slip knot, put your hook in it, and then I'm going to ask you to make 21 chains. So you should have just a small swatch like this, 21 chains. Now we're going to be going back across the row like we normally do for any of our other stitches. And I want you to follow me in this particular pattern. We're going to go not into this very first stitch, but we're going to go into the second stitch. And we're going to do a single crochet. Pull up one loop and pull it through. And then instead of going into the next one, we're going to make 1 chain. We're going to skip that next stitch and then we're going to go into this one. We're going to make a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip this next stitch and we're going to go into the next one. We're going to pull up a loop and do a single crochet and we're going to do a chain 1. We're going to skip the next one, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, single crochet. And you're going to continue that pattern all the way down to the end of your chain, okay? All right, and when you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, then you're going to do 1 more chain as your turning chain, and you're going to flip your work over, and then we're going to go down the back side, okay? We're going to continue with this same pattern, but this time we're going to kind of alternate it opposite of what we did before. We're going to go ahead and go into this gap right here where the chain 1 left a gap. We're going to go into that gap. We're going to pull up a loop and do a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1 over top of this single crochet we did on the row before. Then we're going to go into the gap, single crochet, chain 1 over the top of that stitch, into the gap, single crochet, chain 1 over the top of that stitch, into the gap, pull up a loop, single crochet, chain 1 over the top of that stitch, and into the gap. And you're going to continue this all the way down. I'll meet you down at the bottom. All right, when you get to the end, it's kind of hard to tell where you're at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right over into that top of the last stitch and make us a single crochet right there to end the row. Okay? Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to continue doing the same thing up and down. We're going to do this for several rows so that you can kind of see the way that the variegated yarn works. So just follow along and continue doing the same alternating pattern of a single crochet and a chain one. You're going to put the single crochet in the gaps created by the chain one space in the previous row. And you're going to do the chain one over the completed stitch that's in the previous row. So just follow along with me for about 5 rows and then we'll come back and check in. Okay, now we're back at the end of the row. This is 5 rows in. I'm going to put my last stitch in here. And now you can kind of see how the stitch has built up. It looks like alternating rows of single crochets. It doesn't have a lot of gaps or spaces in between. It makes a really nice warm fabric. This is great for hats, for sweaters, for blankets. And these are also really fun for wall hangings and decor. So I hope that you enjoy using the moss stitch. It's a very simple stitch to use, just using a combination of single crochets and chains. If you have any questions, of course, be sure and contact me on any of my social medias. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, follow, and share for more lessons. Have a great day. Bye.